In this episode of Conducting Pills, we'll dive into the Zwischenspiel or intermezzo of Franz Schreker Der Schatzgräber. Hi, I'm Gianmaria Griglio, I'm a conductor and a composer, and welcome to this new episode of Conducting Pills, a series where we look into a classical piece or a part of it and outline its structure and phrasing, orchestration, and harmony, with a bonus technical tips for conductors. I want to take a second to remind you that on my website you can find more than 70 videos now between score and technical analysis, the full episodes of Conducting Pills on top of the live sessions and plenty of other material. And now, let's start. The name of Franz Schreker, unfortunately, will not sound familiar to many of you. Schreker was a composer who, in his lifetime, went from being hailed as the future of German opera to being considered irrelevant. He was influenced in his music by Richard Wagner and Richard Strauss, but eventually he developed a very personal language that, while still remaining tonal, explored extreme chromaticism and even polytonality. Der Schatzgräber, The Treasure Hunter, was written between 1915 and 1918. Schreker also wrote the libretto of the opera. Premiere took place in 1920 in Frankfurt. This was Schreker's most successful opera with more than 350 performances in over 50 cities between 1920 and 1925. The interlude opening the third act is a real symphonic fresco, roughly 14 minutes long. It's the opening of the curtain, grabbing your attention right away with a powerful entrance of the woodwinds, the violas, and the cellos, sustained by the horns and basses, and an energetic timpani hit. The first violins enter on the second bar, doubled by the second on the third. Everything is very dark, with everyone playing in the lowest register of their instrument. The theme gets disrupted right away, and its first cell used to bridge to a new section. When the violins come in on bar 385, we move from darkness to light. It's a moment. It is just another bridge to the real new section starting at the 6/8. Delicate melody is exposed by a violin solo and answered by the English horn. This sweet atmosphere is interrupted by a trumpet call, and suddenly we are thrown into a crescendo that in a brief time climaxes on a triple fortissimo of the full orchestra. But once again, the tension backs off and leaves room for another romantic moment with the violin solo and woodwinds playing question and answer. The theme is passed to the violins with an accompaniment of two harps. And then transformed. All of a sudden, the turmoil is back, growing more and more dramatic. See how the theme is morphed at the meno mosso, and look at those horn scales. The climax arrives with the tam-tam cymbals and bass drum roll, but as that fades out, we recognize the very first theme we heard at the opening of this intermezzo. A forward-backward chromatic scale gives way to a poco a poco accelerato. The crescendo peaks on a triple fortissimo on the gentle theme we heard in the beginning, played by the violin solo. But we are shortly taken to a new section where different musical ideas are reworked until the music falls back again to a quieter place. Listening to the section around 5:30, one notices the lesson Schreker learned from Mahler in depicting this kind of pastoral atmosphere. At 5:40 we enter another bridging section. This one is different though, playing on the harmonic instability and sudden changes of musical ideas. In a rather long exchange of themes, ideas, and different atmospheres, we'll land once more on a huge crescendo exploding on the main themes. And the music fades away once again on a now very familiar theme. The darkness of the beginning comes back in with the sforzato. But it is quickly dissipated, leaving room to a fairy tale mood colored by the harps and the celesta, until the timpani roll breaks the magic. The turmoil is back, and then the piece in a powerful, dramatic D minor. The push and pull game we saw in the intermezzo of Puccini Manosco is present in this piece as well, even though its character is obviously of a different kind, and most of the instructions are outlined in the continuous accelerando rallentando and tempo changes. Once again, the trick is to anticipate the orchestra and to hook with a stronger pulse in those places where you can actively control the tempo, like in between dotted or tied notes. Thank you very much for watching. Don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel by clicking on the subscribe button right below the video and ring the bell so you will get notified every time a new video comes out. For more in-depth analysis, conducting technique, and conducting exercises, look on my website and follow my Facebook group. All the links are in the description. Let me know in the comments what you think about this piece and if you have any suggestions for future videos, and I'll look forward to seeing you next week with a new episode of Conducting Pills, when we will go through Bartok's Romanian folk dances. In the meanwhile, please continue to enjoy music and be well. Ciao! Abruptly from a legato passage to a staccato or more articulated one, like between bar 59 and 60, give a sharp upbeat on the last beat before the change. It helps enormously with the clarity in the character.